My name's Lucas Allinson. Everybody calls me Biggs. That's been my nickname for as long as I can remember, and I live in Hinckley.
Why don't you tell me about Amelia?
Yep.
And what it was like when she was born.
Breathtaking. I remember it very clearly. I see it as my greatest achievement to be able to have Amelia. At times we thought that option of having life, to be able to have a baby of our own, had been taken away. To then go through the process of IVF and everything else and finally be blessed with having Amelia, it's felt blessed. So this started a couple of years ago, and Amelia caught me completely off guard when she mentioned God. At that point, I wasn't sure how I felt myself. I know what my upbringing was through Catholic school, but I know how that kind of ended for me wasn't really with faith at all. And then noticed that she started looking up more things to do with faith. And after about 6 months, she said about going to church. Most of my friends and family almost fell off their chairs when they heard that I was going into a church. I think the terminology used was I'm going to burst into flames. So you can imagine it was quite a lot of laughs around it, but this was for Amelia. So we came in the door, and on the first day, I'm sure her name's Mary, and she said to me, as soon as I walked in the door, before you go today, come and speak to me about your tattoos, because I've always wanted one, and I've never had the courage. And that moment was pivotal. That was the pivotal change for me, knowing that I'd brought Amelia to the right place. I really struggled with the concept of letting go and letting go of that idea of control a little bit. And I've always been big on control. I've always thought, I'm in control, I know what I'm doing, I will drive this wherever I need it to go. And that's then when I realised that maybe I'm not as a good driver as I've been giving myself credit for, and maybe I need a little bit of time in the passenger seat and just be guided more and go back to having some lessons. And that's how I felt, was me putting my faith in Jesus, was saying, take the wheel. And then Amelia has to be baptised. It was something I'd thought about, but I questioned a lot in myself. The washing away of the old it's a really complex one to explain. Being involved in motorcycle clubs for most of my adult life, that demanded a lot of me. Having to step away from that was difficult because it became like a family, but stepping away was the best thing I could have done. And to be able to put that at peace and say that side is done and it is physically washed away now, that was what was most impactful. To be present for what was a massive thing for her, that then became a massive thing for me as well, and then a massive thing for my wife, and to share that all together was, I'm speechless. I don't know how to put it into words what that meant. But for me, it was very much that washing away of the old for a new journey and a new path with faith, with Jesus. And I can't think of a better decision that I've made. I could be lonely in a busy room. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And I think without realising you can be in a room of 100 people and still feel lonely. Whereas I don't have that anymore. I know that I've got someone that I can turn to whenever I need. They will always be listening and always have love for me. And for that, I have nothing but gratitude. I think a miracle is something that there's no reasonable explanation for it, but it happens. It's 100% a miracle that I walked into a church, and I walk to school with a miracle every single day. Even though the odds are completely against it, it can still happen.